How about this? This looks interesting. Another blank page. What does it say? Portion of police report enclosed. You know what happened when I wrote that first letter is our police chief, who's honestly very responsive, had his secretary reach out to me and say, hey, I got a copy of the police report. It cost me $6. Nothing is free. And I get no favor. And that's okay. That's the whole point. I really super appreciated the fact that he did what he did. He got me a copy of the police report in response to that last letter. So here, information presented is vital to understanding. Dear Police Chief Singletary, and he is the chief who was so kind as to make sure I got a copy of the police report. Thank you for having a clerk reach out with a $6 copy, of the police report. Again, I'm not getting this for free. Your attentiveness to this matter is more appreciated than you will ever know, truthfully. At first glance, a chuckle factor at the blacked out information, then the nuts and bolts of the report. The vital information is still there, regardless of the players. I learned a lot. What prompted the breakthrough were the 18-wheeler accident billboards along Interstate 10 on a recent road trip. Not sure what that had to do with anything, but it got me thinking like a lawyer. Looking for answers, I got them. At this point, I realized several things, including how incredibly difficult it is to take in every aspect of a transportation system, the very system some of your officers are assigned to police. Very complex. Sincerely, thank you again. And the letter goes on. Here's my police report. And notice, this is really kind of funny. The names of the people were blacked out, which is fine. You know, at first it was a little bit offensive to me, but I thought, well, let me just look. Let me just study this because I'll bet everything's there that I need. And lo and behold, it was. So, I don't know what this says here. I don't know. And then here's the drawing of the intersection and the bicycle rider. And you can see the bike rider was hit in lane 6. You see, it looks like just a little top view of a straight line, the bicycle with the handlebar going across and the number 6. That's where the crash occurred. And I understand it was a horrible, visually a horrible thing to witness. So again, we need to realize as people who run the city that we are subjecting the people who live here to different types of peril. The guy driving the truck was traumatized, I would hope. The officer who worked the scene, I would think this pulls at his heartstrings to see this kind of thing. He was reasonable. He was very kind. He did suggest that it was the bicycle rider's fault, which really, really upset me, which made me step back and think. I thanked him kindly for talking with me, and I appreciate that more than anybody will ever understand or know. The officer who worked the scene was very kind, very professional, and he did his job to the letter of the law. Trust me, I understand that now more than ever. If a vehicle is in the intersection, and this is a question, when the light changes from green to yellow, is the crossing legal? And the answer is yes. Once the vehicle has entered the intersection, if the light turns from green to yellow, the vehicle's crossing is legal. So that bicycle was in the intersection. I guarantee it was in the intersection when the light turned yellow. And I say this with all conviction because this happened to me 2 weeks ago, and this accident happened last August or September. So I just lived out a similar situation. The crossing is legal. Yes, you're in the intersection. The problem is the light is not long enough and the roadways are too wide. Does any of this matter? So let's look at this. Well, let's go to the other page first. Notice where the crash occurred. In the 6th of 7 lanes, the lanes are 12 feet wide. The intersection is 84 feet wide. When I saw the crashed bicycle, a discount store cheapo with dry rotted knobby tires, dry rot dictates lower tire pressure. You can't air them up all the way. The bicycle rider was likely traveling at 9 to 10 miles an hour. Even if he was traveling at 12 miles an hour, if he was in lane 1 when the light turned yellow, which is my suspicion, he would not have had time enough to clear the intersection safely. The lights, yellow light on streets with a 45 mile an hour speed limit are about 3.6 seconds. I called TxDOT and asked. The person bicycling would have had just enough time to get crashed into on the 6th lane, knowing that information. This is eye-opening information. I sincerely believe the person riding the bicycle was not at fault. And then below I did the TxDOT numbers. That doesn't matter. What matters is the guy driving the car didn't stand a chance. The guy riding the bicycle didn't stand a chance. And the officer who worked the crash did not stand a chance to do the right thing. Nobody, because we're set up to fail, because we're lack of planning on the part of our city and our highway department and all the people around here in Southeast Texas. So why does any of this matter? BeaumontTexas.gov's leadership has courted poverty by allowing twice the average per capita in public housing units. For many, the bicycle as a means of transportation is necessary. Those people are getting crashed into and in many cases don't call the police. Why? This situation exemplifies why. Folks who have a need or desire for exercise, the bicycle is often a perfect vehicle. Others have environmental concerns. Enter the bicycle. Motorists in our community are rude to people who ride bicycles. Sometimes they crash into them as a form of social justice or intolerance. Can you imagine that? And I've witnessed that firsthand. There seems to be no protection. That's what motivates me. There are issues of consciousness and humanity. Please be an advocate to protect people who ride bicycles. I'm writing this to city council, to the police chief, to the mayor, to the city manager, to the city codes enforcement, to community development, to health department, to everyone with the city who has a leadership position. Please be an advocate to protect the people who ride bicycles in our community. TxDOT, you too. Look, this is going to happen over and over again until we pay attention to how our communities are set up and managed. This is really important, folks.